What is up, everybody, and welcome back to GRO In Greenville. My name is Nick Green.
And I am Cannon Gates.
And you are listening to WZMB 91.3 FM Greenville. And this is our Pitt County edition of our podcast, which we've got two other versions out. So if you haven't checked those out, we've got the Greenville edition and the ECU edition of both this segment already. However, we're at this time as Pitt County, so we've got a Pitt County guest coming up in just a little bit. If you guys don't know who it is, it's in the description box. But if you haven't read the description by chance, you'll find out here in just a little bit. But before we introduce her, well, I've already given away that it's a female, but before we go ahead and introduce her, let's go ahead and talk about some Pitt County news going on right now. Cannon, how'd you like to get us started this time?
I'll go right on ahead, Nick.
Go ahead and let's hear what you got.
Chicken Salad Chick, the nation's only fast casual chicken salad restaurant, opened its 14th North Carolina restaurant just yesterday, April 9th, in Greenville at 112 Red Banks Road. They feature a convenient drive-thru and is owned by the same experienced team who brought a brand to Fayetteville in 2022 and is opening another location in Jacksonville later this spring. They definitely did a lot of good things just these first couple of days. A couple of days, obviously, when you're seeing this, you won't be able to catch that, but still, definitely check it out. Great, another addition to the beloved town of Greenville. Absolutely. The Greenville Chicken Salad Chick is owned and operated by Chris Carnes and Ben Fields, along with operating partner Jonah Greenup, who has been serving his hometown, Fayetteville, for the past 2 years at the trio's first Chick location. They have built a great team that can't wait to bring all of Chicken Salad Chick's made-from-scratch favorites to Greenville. They say Greenville's well-deserved reputation as a friendly, lively hub for work and play is a perfect match for Chicken Salad Chick's culture of service and hospitality, said Greenup, operating partner of Chicken Salad Chick Greenville. They look forward to hosting a lot of things, celebrating stuff. They're supporting Cure Childhood Cancer. They have an annual giving card and numerous other events and programs throughout the year to reinforce the Chicken Salad Chick's Foundation mission to help raise money to find a cure for cancer, as well as giving back to local food banks and food-related charities. They are open Monday through Saturday from 10:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try saying Chicken Salad Chick 10 times fast.
Chicken Salad Chick, 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 Chicken Salad Chick. Almost got it.
Exactly.
I almost got it.
It's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. But I tell you what, though, Chicken Salad Chick, I've actually got one close to where I live back home. And I tell you what, it's a very popular place over there. I haven't been personally, I'm not a big chicken salad guy myself. But I know that a lot of people actually really like that place. And I tell you what, funny story actually. There was one time I went to the AT&T store right beside the Chicken Salad Chick, and I had to use the restroom, and there was not one in the AT&T store. He's like, well, just go ahead and walk over to the Chicken Salad Chick. I was like, okay, fine, I'll walk over to the Chicken Salad Chick. I tell you what, the designs in their restrooms are actually hilarious for the simple fact that they have a bunch of different, because let's keep it, Chicken Salad Chick is more of necessarily a feminine type place per se, is what kind of like the macho is around it. And so when you walk into the men's restroom at this place, it's basically like, hey, in order to sound more masculine, you can order, if you're trying to order this item, say it this way and we'll know what you're talking about. And that way it sounds more masculine, but you don't have to actually say what the actual name is. They've got different signs like that on all over the walls in the bathroom, which I thought was quite funny whenever I went in. That's pretty funny. I have not seen a restaurant do something like that before.
Well, I've never been to a Chicken Salad Chick. I mean, I had never really heard about it until probably a few months ago.
Really?
Before, didn't know they were bringing one to Greenville until kind of recently. But yeah. I'd only heard about it just a few months ago. I was looking through something and saw that. I was like, didn't know there even was a Chicken Salad Chick type of restaurant. I think it's a great concept, great thing to bring to Greenville. I'm definitely going to check it out. I'll probably wait until the opening kind of dies down a little bit. I don't like going to places that just open. Like I saw pictures.
I think it depends.
I saw pictures of yesterday's. Too many. I'm
Yeah,
not
sure.
dealing with that.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't like dealing with openings, so I'll probably wait a week or two and then go check it out.
I understand that. I mean, I think it depends on the place. I like part of me likes experiencing the grand opening just because it's a cool little thing to do. But at the same time, you're right. That's when everything is kind of like hits the fan per se, if you know what I mean. That's when everything kind of like goes crazy because everybody's new, everybody's trying to figure things out. So the service naturally won't be the best, and not that it's saying anything bad about the service in general. That's just more of a natural problem when you open a place for the first time. Service naturally just might not be the best, and so it's just I can understand where you're coming from on that. So I understand that. My story actually comes to you from the town of Kinston, North Carolina. Actually, a little bit outside Pitt County, but it's close enough in the area that we're going to just talk about a little bit. So the Down East Wood Ducks have just began their final season in Kinston, North Carolina, and they're actually relocating to Spartanburg, South Carolina after this season. And some of the small town business owners are actually worried about how this could affect the economy there in Kinston. Kinston being a small town and really relying on their baseball atmosphere, they're a little concerned about that. How this team brings in a lot of revenue for them, especially on game days. People will go to their businesses and go check things out, and it'll bring in a lot of revenue. So some places are actually genuinely kind of concerned about this. The mayor of the town has since said that they are going to be selecting a new team very soon, and it's in the works. They have over a dozen applicants to be selected for this new team already, and they could have a decision as early as next year playing in this stadium already. I mean, it's a historic Granger Stadium down there in Kinston. I'm excited to see what ends up happening. I mean, very rarely do you see a team leave and within like a year or two a new team get instituted back there. Very true. So I think that tells you a lot about the baseball town of Kinston itself, and I think it's just an incredible thing that they're able to replace a team so fast. I mean, I think that's just awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just people that come with the teams that are coming to play in Kinston. It's people from Greenville. It's people from Pitt County.
Yeah.
People just from really anywhere in eastern North Carolina that are anywhere close because they go to Kinston. They have their spots they like to go to before the game, after the game, that type of thing. So it's going to impact not just the visiting, like the tourist type in Kinston, is the people who regularly come to Kinston, not just people who live in it and people who own businesses.
Absolutely. And one thing that we know best about Greenville and the eastern side of the state, this is a baseball town. Every single every single city down here is a baseball city, baseball town. And so whenever you have not necessarily a big team, but whenever you have a baseball team there, you're going to get the attention.
Exactly.
You're going to get people who are going to come out to go see it. It's going to bring in revenue for the city. I think it's a great thing to have in this part of the state. I think it's a great thing to have anywhere, but definitely here in this part of the state where it's just such a revenue maker for all these businesses. I think it's a fantastic thing to have.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, without further ado, I introduced the last guest on the last episode. I think it's your turn this time.
Well,
let's go ahead. You want to introduce our special guest this time?
Yeah, I'll go right ahead. We got Morgan May from the Humane Society of Pitt County as our special guest. She's going to be coming right up, and of course, we're going to talk to her about different things in Pitt County, the Humane Society, just whatever she can tell you guys to really get out there and show the Humane Society some love.
Absolutely, because who doesn't love dogs?
Exactly.
Who doesn't love dogs?
Exactly.
So you guys will actually get the chance to meet her right now. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to GRO in Greenville. My name is Nick Green.
And I'm Kenny Gates.
And you are listening to WZMB 91.3 FM Greenville. And we have a very special guest here with us again today. This is Miss Morgan May, who works with the Humane Society here in East Carolina. Morgan, how are you doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Good. Well, tell us a little bit about what you do at the Humane Society. Tell us about, what does the average day look like for you?
Well, there really is no average day.
Fair enough.
Every day is different, but I am the assistant director, so I'm kind of in charge of just making sure everything runs day to day, which can be kind of an issue because animals are very unpredictable at times. But hiring, training our staff, fundraisers are a big thing that I'm in charge of because we are 100% donation based. So everything that we're funded by is donated, or fundraisers, different things like that is basically how we run. So that's kind of what I do, and just making sure the animals are ready to be adopted into the best homes.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, like you said your job is very unpredictable at times, and like no day is the same day. What do you think is the most important part of your job?
Probably the most important part of my job is ensuring the safety of our animals and their general well-being, making sure that they are happy and healthy, they aren't harming themselves, they aren't too stressed out, things like that, making sure their basic medical care and stuff like that is covered. That's always our first priority, is that, and then going on to things like making sure our staff is well taken care of and that we are going over doctors and all of our programs like fostering and volunteering or running, but at the end of the day it is about the well-being of our animals.
Absolutely.
Yeah, perfect.
What would you say is the most rewarding part of your job?
The most rewarding part of my job is probably puppies and kittens.
Okay.
I feel like anybody that says that, because I do foster a lot, so I see a lot of infants and little babies, and watching them grow up is really rewarding. And probably the most rewarding part of that is, since I've been there for so long, I've seen some infants and little babies that I've had grow up and they're in their homes, and I get updates from their adopters about how well they're doing, and it's just really great to see the lives that they're living now.
That's awesome.
And I was a part of making that happen.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it really is. I know, like you said, puppies and kittens. Is that the only animals you work with, or any other animals you guys work with? And what's like your favorite animal to work with?
Oh, that is a very tough one because all animals are individuals, so I definitely go based on certain personalities. But I am either like an adult dog, about 2 years old dog person, or baby kittens. I love bottle babies. And what was the first part of that question
Like,
again?
is puppies and kittens or dogs and cats the only animals you guys work with, or do you guys work with other animals as well?
So for the most part, it is just dogs and cats, but occasionally we have had rabbits and guinea pigs and birds. It kind of, things like that we don't have the ability to take care of in our facility. So that's if we have a foster that's willing to take them on until adoption, then we'll take them. I did foster a guinea pig that we had in our care. So, but for the most part, it is just canines and felines.
Awesome. Well, you kind of already answered this a little bit, but I guess I'll change this up a little bit. How many animals have you had at working at the Humane Society where you've like, I've got to keep you. Like, I cannot just I have to keep you myself.
One.
Okay.
I have only adopted technically 2, but I knew that I was going to keep the second one from the moment that I got him, and he was a bottle baby kitten, and so I just had to wait for him to be old enough to finalize it. But my very first foster dog, Mozart, I fostered him for about 6 months, and then he had an adoption appointment, and they actually ended up going with another dog, and in that time I decided, this is my dog. I can't imagine him going to another home. And since then, I've probably fostered over 100 animals and only kept 2. So there's a few that I really wanted to, but at a certain point I won't have enough space, so I like to leave that space open to help more.
Has there been how many animals has it been that you've just when they've gotten adopted in other homes that you've been like, you know what? Let me get in contact with this owner. Let me keep in contact with the owner so that way I can stay in touch with this animal.
As many as I can.
Fair enough.
We always ask for adoption updates, and especially any of my personal fosters, animals that I've taken home and really made that connection with. I always try to keep in contact with the owners, at least try to friend them on Facebook if they don't think that's too weird, so I can keep up. But a lot of them will reach out to us, sometimes adopters that we didn't think we'd really hear from, and they'll send us an update 2 years later of the dog or cat absolutely thriving, and that's really great to see.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. For everybody, just so they know, so people can go to the Humane Society more, how easy is it for people to come adopt the animals at the Humane Society?
So it is super easy. There's an application on our website that is just a bunch of basic questions, so we can kind of get to know you a little bit before, make sure the animals that you're interested in are a good fit for your home, or if you don't have anyone specific in mind, we can kind of go ahead and pick some animals out for you to potentially meet. Being that a lot of our animals are in foster homes, the more foster homes we have, the more animals we can take. We do operate by appointment only, but once you send in that application, we set up appointments Thursday through Sunday, and they're super flexible that we can work with your schedule and hold an animal for your adoption appointment if it's coming up. And you'll get time with an adoption counselor to fully know what that animal is all about, be prepared if you have any questions. And it's a really great and easy process.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
And then I know you guys at the Humane Society, you have volunteers coming all the time. In fact, we were actually just there this past Saturday. How much of an impact is it for volunteers to come in? How impactful is that?
Our volunteers are so vital to our entire operation. We have some fundraisers that are entirely volunteer ran. Around Christmas, wintertime, we have gift wrapping at the mall, and that is 100% done by volunteers, and that's our 3rd or 4th biggest fundraiser that we do. And then just at the facility, the basic volunteering that we do, things that a lot of people don't think about, laundry, such a big need, especially certain times, we love for our dogs and cats to have blankets and things like that. And we only have a standard washer and dryer, so we can only do but so much. So it's really nice for people to do laundry, especially if you can't interact with animals. You may have certain restrictions that make you not able to do that. And the volunteers that come and take them out, walk them, interact with them. As a staff, we do as much as we can to interact with them, but like I said, our main goal is making sure that they are clean, fed, healthy, all of those things. So they do get 2 let-outs a day, every single dog does, and we interact with them as much as we can in our spare time. A lot of our staff members also volunteer, we do as much as we can, but when our volunteers get to interact with them, it really gives them that extra time, and also being with different kinds of people. It really helps them grow as animals. We are an all-female staff, so it's really helpful when we have male volunteers, so that our dogs and cats can get used to men, and of different ages and people of different sizes. A lot of dogs are weird about beards and hats and things like that.
So he wouldn't like me too much. He would not like me too much.
So we like to expose them to as much as we can, especially little puppies. That age is so important for their brain to learn things and grow. So we like for them to meet as many people as possible. And dogs are different with almost everybody. They meet in little different ways. So it's great when volunteers give us feedback and we get to learn more about the dogs or cats and advertise them for their homes so that we can make better matches.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, like you said, volunteers, perfect thing. How do you think the Humane Society impacts Pitt County as a whole?
I hope that we're having a really good impact. We try to. We like to partner with organizations like the Pet Food Pantry of Eastern NC, which helps lower income communities with spay and neuters for their pets and providing them food. And we've done a few partnerships with them in cases where people have had animals that had a litter, and so the Pet Food Pantry will have the adults altered, and then we will intake that litter and then adopt them out, obviously altered, vaccinated, microchipped, all the things that we do. And we also work with the Pitt County Animal Shelter, which is what intakes our strays and does the most in the community. So we pull from them a lot so that we can make space for them to be able to intake animals, strays, owner surrenders, and things like that.
Awesome, that's great. It's a great thing you guys are doing there.
Why do you think your line of work is so important?
Because there's not many people that are willing to do it. It's a very difficult job, and we get told almost every day, I don't know if I could do what you do, but somebody's got to do it.
Right.
So.
Absolutely. And then last but certainly not least, if somebody who is listening to this right now is interested in volunteering, how can they go about that?
If you are interested in volunteering, you can go to the Humane Society's website, www.hsecarolina.org, and under the volunteer tab, you can learn more, and you can click the link to sign up for Point. You'll get a login. Once you have that, you can see all the available shifts and different things that you can sign up for. And if you have any questions, you're always welcome to email us. We're pretty quick about responding, and we're also always open to new ideas.
Awesome. Actually, I did have one more question. Sorry, I know I said that last one was the very last question. I actually just thought of this. So the Pirate Paws live read that we do on our station every week, who comes up with that? And then how do you come up with the animal every week that gets read aloud?
It's kind of the three of us in the office, and we're like, who should we send? And we'll throw out names, and then one of them will just click, or it's someone that we really think that needs to get adopted, or a lot of the write-ups that we get are done when dogs go on field trips, or they're done by volunteers. So they'll kind of tell us how they did, and we like to share that experience that they had. Anytime we get something updated, whether they came back from foster or a staff member spent a day or two with them and kind of got to know them better. So we like to send something updated. Sometimes dogs, I think we've highlighted dogs twice before because they just have been there for so long. We wanted to get some extra eyes on them again. So it's kind of totally random. Sometimes it's just who I'm feeling is really cute that day. So if we have a dog in the office and they're just looking at me a certain way, I'm like,
yep,
I'm gonna share you.
You're the one this week.
Sometimes I'll ask them who wants to be shared this week and see who's kind of giving me the vibe.
So you gives you a paw,
Yeah.
raise their paw. Yeah. That's absolutely awesome. Well, Morgan, thank you so much for coming in and speaking with us today. It was really good to talk to you. Y'all, that's all the time we have today. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this week's episode of GRO in Greenville. Once again, this is probably the last thing you're going to see of us for the rest of this semester anyway. However, we will be on air again this summer too for Grounded in Greenville. So y'all stay tuned for that. And we'll continue this podcast up too, so stay tuned for whenever you can see that. But until next time, I'm Nick Green.
And I'm Kenny Gates.
Go Pirates! All right.
Perfect.
This is still recording. That was my biggest concern.
Yeah.
That was my biggest concern when I was doing that.